So, Gloria, they're planning an appeal, is that right?
That's what I have read, that Mr. Cosby is intending to appeal the denial of his habeas corpus motion. In other words, the denial of his motion to dismiss the criminal case.
Is this just an attempt to stonewall and just create mountains of work that sort of just delay this thing interminably?
Well, apparently, Dr. Drew, he does not want the criminal case to go forward. He does not want to face a jury and have a jury decide his guilt or innocence. And this move is just the latest in a long string of legal maneuvers by Bill Cosby. So far, he has failed.
Now, the judge that threw this thing out cited credibility determinations. That was the quote. Kurt, does that mean something to you?
It means something huge.
What does it mean?
It's very clear if this agreement was real. It seems to me that even under Pennsylvania law, and I'm not a Pennsylvania lawyer, but I'm somewhat familiar with the facts, that it should have been enforced, that he should not, in fact, have been prosecuted. The judge has the opportunity to listen to the testimony of the former DA and judge credibility. Is it truthful or not? The judge didn't rule on the legality of the actual agreement. He ruled, I don't believe there was one, and I can't imagine anybody going into one of these agreements without reducing in writing. If I were Bill Cosby, I'd have it tattooed on my chest.
And that, I guess, is what the judge is saying, that it seems just ridiculous that they would not have been reduced to writing.
Well, according to the district attorney, Dr. Drew, any immunity from prosecution agreement would not only have to be reduced to writing, it would have to be reduced to a court order. In other words, a judge would have had to order it. And that never happened. So, in fact, if they were arguing there was some kind of agreement, if it was so important to Bill Cosby, one has to ask, why did his attorneys not ensure that it was reduced to writing? Now, one of his attorneys is deceased, the one who allegedly entered into this so-called agreement at the time. So, obviously, he's deceased, he can't testify. But, most defense attorneys would make sure, because they would be concerned about malpractice as well as about not having their client prosecuted, they would want to protect their client by having it in writing.
Well, the technical term is super malpractice, because this is literally the most insane thing I have ever heard. Well, I wouldn't even consider allowing some sort of unwritten
agreement. Speaking of wild allegations, I want to play for you a tape. You guys, that Eddie Griffin tape, I want to have you play it. This is outside of the legal realm, but it's another set of, I don't know what to call this, of rumor and that's swirling around the Cosby case. So listen to what Eddie Griffin said to Vlad on Vlad TV.
Did he rape these? All of them said the same thing. We went to the room. Why would you go to the room of a known married man? There is a systematic effort to destroy every black male entertainer's image. They want us all to have an actress by name. Dr. Cosby raped 37 and is still counting. Nobody leaves this business clean. Michael Jackson, little white children. You understand?
They try to tie that.
You're not going to die clean.
Annalise, you reacted.
Well, I reacted that he's blaming the victims because, what, he's married? He's the one that's married. So you're saying that because he's married, they go up to the room with him, that he didn't rape them? Come on, that doesn't make any sense.
There's another problem with the Dr. Drew as well in trying to play the race card on this particular issue, because a number of my clients who are accusers of Bill Cosby are, in fact, African-American women. Yes. And, in fact, for many of them, they were very reluctant to come forward because they didn't want to hurt, this major star, this major father figure, well-respected, successful African-American man. But they did so because they accuse him of very, very serious acts, and they decided that he shouldn't have any special license to get away with it.
I'm going to take the race issue out of Eddie's little diatribe there and say, though, that people do have a lot of schadenfreude, a lot of desire to take down people that moralize. So the fact that he was, sort of from on high giving advice to people, they love to take him down, not because he's black, just because he was telling people how to live their life, and indeed he had secrets, so it seems.